Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming. So in this video, I'll look at the best cheap games on Steam worth buying in 2020. The reason I'm making this video, well, there are several reasons. First, Steam Summer Sale is around the corner next month or so. So I wanted to cover some games that I often mention that go on the same prices almost every time. The other reason is for newer people to PC gaming. I wanted to mention some well-known games, some good games, AAA games mostly, that are very affordable and pretty good as well. Also, I wanted to compile a list of games that I do not want to repeat, because often what happens is when I make those videos during the summer sales, people always say, why isn't this mentioned, why isn't that mentioned? And the reason is I mention them almost every time. So like some of these games I've mentioned like in 4 or 5 videos, so I want to like focus on newer stuff. So yes, so that is the reason why I'm making this video. Also, in the pinned comment below or the description, or maybe both, I'll put down the lowest prices that these games have gone on Steam. So I'll put the prices in US dollars, British pounds, euros, and Indian rupees. So if you are planning to buy these games, you can wishlist them and keep an idea on the prices so you know if they're close to the lows. So I've got 20 games here. Obviously, there are a lot more. If you have some of your own suggestions, feel free to write them down. And also, if you can, mention the lowest prices in at least one of these currencies. So I'll see, I might make a part 2 depending on how people take this video. So first up, we start with the Batman series. Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year edition. These games are really good. The first one was probably the best superhero game, I think still is. Came out in 2009, 2010. This is the Game of the Year edition. Overwhelmingly positive, as you can see. Well under $5, almost every sale, 75 to 80% off roughly. Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year edition. So the Arkham City, sorry. So this is the sequel to that game. This is more open world, and some people consider this to be the best game in the series. And yeah, it is debatable, but I prefer the first one. But this is really good as well. Again, identical prices, under $5. Batman Arkham Origins. So this was made by a different dev, and I believe this is not as well received initially. I think there were some issues with the game as well, but this also tends to drop now. It's the same, under $5 now. Then we have Batman Arkham Knight, so the latest game, and this was a complete disaster at launch. In fact, they pulled it off the Steam store for a while to fix the issues with the game, but it has been fixed, and I think it should be fine now. This also goes under $5 for the main game. The complete version is a bit more, but the base game is $5. Now, interestingly, as some of you may remember, last year towards the end of the year, I think September maybe, Epic Games gave away all these games for free on the 70th anniversary of Batman or something like that. So probably a lot of you already have this, but if you want them on Steam, these are the prices. Then we have Mad Max, another game published by Warner Brothers. Now this is a game that did not do much in terms of sales, or like nobody really talked about it too much, but I love this game. I absolutely love this game. I think this is the best, one of the best open world games, one of the best hand-to-hand combat, and definitely very interesting in terms of the car combat. We have a lot of customization, big beautiful open world. It tends to get a bit grindy because you have to do the same quests over and over, like collecting stuff. But even if you don't do that, it is quite a beautiful game in my opinion. It is 5 years old now, so it will run on most systems, and it is quite affordable as well, so comfortably under $5 now. By the way, I'm keeping the prices under 10 for this video, so anything over 10 I've skipped for now, but most of the stuff is under 5 anyway. Next we have Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Now interestingly, this game did go very cheap in summer sale 2017, I think. But ever since the sequel came out, Shadow of War, I have not seen this go anywhere near its low on Steam. The prices have been a lot more. For some reason they forgot to lower the prices, or they don't bother anymore. I don't know. But this has gone as low as $399 in the June's summer sale, as you can see down here, 80% off. 2017 sale, I mean. But last time around, I think this was at $9.99, maybe $7.99. So it'll depend on how badly priced it is, and if it's close to that $3.99, I guess $5.99 or $4.99. I still recommend it because it's a nice game, really good game. But at $10, maybe not. Next we have Tomb Raider. So this is another game that was given away for free recently, just 2 months ago. So this was very cheap to begin with anyway. During sales, this goes down to under $3. I think $2.49 is the lowest. Again, check the prices below. It should be there. So yeah, again, this was free, so plenty of you probably have it. Then we have Rise of the Tomb Raider, the sequel, and this is probably the best of the series, again, based on what I've heard. This has dropped quite a bit as well, but not as low. I think $7.99 is the lowest for this one. Now, another thing to keep in mind is when I'm mentioning these prices, these are the previous lows, like the previous sales, what the low was. With the new summer sale and with the current situation of the lockdown and everyone buying games, etc., this might actually hit new lows. Some of these games might hit new lows. Just Cause 3. So another Square Enix game, they tend to drop the prices on the Just Cause series quite a lot, and this is very cheap. This one goes down to about, let me see, $2.99 I think in US dollars for the base game, and only 59 rupees in India. So yeah, big open world, like probably one of the biggest open worlds. Then we have Deus Ex Human Revolution. So the two Deus Ex games, again, these are one of my favorite series, and this is also really cheap. Square Enix tends to go really good with the discounts for the Western made games. The Japanese developed games, they are not too keen on lowering the prices on those, but these ones, they go dirt cheap very easily, very quickly as well. So this has dropped to 85% off and $2.99 for the director's cut version. Now, as you can see here in the notice below, the versions are slightly different. So let's say the version in India that I'm using, if I was to go back to the UK and try to play the game there, I won't be able to play it because I think some blood, gore, those sort of things makes the ratings different. So the versions are slightly different. But it shouldn't bother you. I mean, the prices are same. Most people don't sort of move around and play games in different countries. Then we have the sequel, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. And this is just the price for the base game, and the base game has gone actually a little lower, I think, for India, but otherwise it's under $5 again, $4.49. Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. This is another GTA style game, very popular and a pretty fun game as well. And this is also 90% off. That's how low it has gone. Again, comfortably under 5. Ryse Son of Rome. So bit of a controversial game when it first came out on the Xbox, but this looks amazing. The graphics are still very good, and now that it's dirt cheap, it can be appreciated for its good qualities, let's say. So the story is decent. It's a bit of copy paste from Gladiator, but with a bit of a supernatural twist. The combat is a sort of quick time events, but if you turn up the difficulty to the highest setting, you can get a decent experience. That was my takeaway when I played the game. Like on easier difficulties, it seems annoying because it's too irritating. It's the same thing over and over. But if you turn up the difficulty, then timing, it becomes quite important, and then you can sort of use the combos and react perfectly to the enemy attacks and counter them. So then it becomes more satisfying. And once you complete the whole game, you can unlock a further harder difficulty. So I think that's the best way to experience it. And yeah, under $5. Saints Row the Third, yep, more GTA style game. This got a remaster recently. I think it's coming out, or is it already out? I'm not sure. But yeah, this might be something you can pick up if you are interested because of that. And then you also have Saints Row 4. Again, both these games comfortably under $5, open world games, comedy stuff. Then we have Bethesda games. We have Dishonored, the first one. Probably one of the best IPs in the last decade. First person stealth action game with a, again, interesting story, supernatural twist to it. And last time out, I believe they did drop the prices quite a bit. because previously they just kept reducing it to the same levels, but last summer sale, I think somewhere around there, they dropped it a lot more, and this one went down to as low as like $199 during the just for the base game, I mean. Then we have Dishonored 2, and this one was also surprisingly cheap, went down to about $799. So again, definitely worth picking both these games up. We also have Prey. $5.99 was the lowest. Again, last year they went generous and reduced the prices quite a bit. Now Bethesda isn't really good for regional pricing, at least that's what I've noticed here in India. The prices tend to be sometimes more than the US dollars, which is rare for most other games. But now that they have sort of fixed it, it is more in line with other prices, other regions. Next we have Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Game of the Year Edition. This is the first Elder Scrolls game that I knew about, and I still like it. You can see overwhelmingly positive reviews. People still love it, and yeah, worth checking out if you haven't done so already. Again, Bethesda pricing isn't great, but for these older games, it is fine. It's under $5, and with the amount of content you get, yeah, definitely worth it. Finally, Wolfenstein: The New Order. Sorry, the thumbnails are not loading because I have too many tabs open on Chrome. And this is a reboot of the franchise FPS game. It was a decent fun action, and this is also a bit more reasonably priced these days, under $10, about $6 I think for the lowest prices. The new one, the second, the sequel, is a bit over $10, so I haven't included it here, but you can pick that up as well, and it might go down a little lower this time. I've noticed with these Wolfenstein games that Bethesda doesn't give the best prices during the summer sale itself. So it's either a little before or a bit after the Steam summer sale. They tend to have the best prices. I don't know what the logic is behind that. So that's a look at some games that I feel are worth buying on Steam. Cheap games and good games, mostly AAA. And as I said, depending on how this video is received, I might make a second one, because I've only covered like 3-4 publishers in this one. There are plenty more. And also you can leave your recommendations as well with the prices if you can. Hopefully this was useful. I'm just trying out new ideas to see what sort of videos can be useful on the channel, and let me know what you think as well. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.